thing that I do is I pan it so that like TBL is always on the right at like 10 or 20%. Our guest is always 10 or 20% to the left. And then I'm further on the left at 40%, and then Aura's on the right at 40% as well. That way it's a full, it sounds like we're sitting in a line in front of you.
A rich, dynamic experience.
Yes.
That's beautiful Destiny ASMR there with the one and only Dan Finity. That's
Thank you.
You put way more effort into this than I would when I was editing the show.
I want it to sound good. I want it to sound like a show that I would listen to. I don't listen to the show.
I don't
you just
really
want it
think
to
you
sound
need
like
to, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I lived it.
Yeah. It's like watching your own videos. Why in the world would you do that?
To just see the wonderful comments, like the first one's for PD where I put up, it's like, this guy's a great sleep aid.
I would take that as an incredible compliment. I put babies to sleep.
If my own wife hadn't said the same thing listening to me record narration once, I would think it was just a fluke, but
okay, that has to be a compliment then. You can only take that as a compliment moving forward there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 245 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We are back once again to discuss what's going on in the Destiny community. And if it looks like I'm looking off screen nervously over the course of this show, it's because shortly after we went live, a spider dropped down from the ceiling and is now dangling in front of my camera, and I will not take my eyes off of it for the remainder of the show because I don't know where that son bitch is going.
No, what kind of spider is it?
I don't know. It's tan and a little white, and now he's landed on the camera and he's kind of crawling over it like, hey, this is mine now.
This one's part of the show.
It's part of the show. He was here to catch the show live. He's having the premiere Twitch experience. So if I happen to jump and freak out over the course of this episode, now you know why. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. Anyways, we've got your usual roundtable of hosts here, including the one, the only Mr. Aura. Welcome back, dude.
hi, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. I missed you last week, brother.
Sorry, man. Yeah. For those who are listening, Layla's been having some health issues, minor stuff, but she's got some allergies going on. Her allergies are creating a bacterial infection, and she scratched all of that open. Oof. And our house looked like a crime scene last week. So we got that under control. She's on medication. We're good.
Poor baby.
Yeah, she doesn't even feel it. She doesn't even feel it. She has no idea.
Making a mess.
Yeah.
Well, we hope everything goes well. She gets better soon, man.
Thank you.
Right on. Mr. Dan Finity, welcome back, brother.
Oh, hi. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to hang out with you all. It's been a day. It's been a good day.
Yeah.
A good week. Yeah.
Right on, man. Looking forward to getting into it. And of course, our good buddy, Mr. Critbuff. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, TBL. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for joining us here on the stream. It's my second time on. I know it was quite some time ago that I was here while I was actually stationed in Korea, I believe. So,
yes.
Yeah. And if you hear any cute, adorable sounds in the background, that's my co-star, my 3-year-old daughter, Zoe. She's up here for her nap, which she is fighting tooth and nail. So if things get too hectic, I will, of course, mute myself and address that. So if I disappear randomly, it's because a diaper had to be changed or there was some disaster.
All good.
It's all good, man.
Some disaster. We went from diaper to disaster.
Disaster.
Alliteration.
I mean,
there you go.
This man's a professional, and I much prefer her as a guest to this spider that has now crawled onto the power cable and is making its way down and out of sight. So
no.
Is it hitting the switch? Is it going to turn anything off?
Is it that weighty?
It's not that big a spider, but it
Okay.
could crawl into maybe it'd be dumb enough to crawl into a power socket and everything over here shuts down. So if that happens, that is a potential bit of fallback that might happen there.
Would the headline read Florida Spider instead of Florida Man? It would be Florida Spider electrocutes self on socket interrupting podcast.
As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I see a cowboy hat, a logger, and him saying "yeehaw" as he goes down. So it could happen at any point in time.
Giddy
It
up.
all depends on what part of Florida.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what part of Florida, just anywhere. But right on, man. So again, everybody, welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here. It has been kind of an interesting week in Destiny. We had, of course, Iron Banner, the first Iron Banner of Season of Arrivals go live. Everybody here, I'm guessing, had a chance to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, this is going to be a pretty interesting PvP-focused episode because there's a lot of conversations going on in the community about the state of the Crucible right now, whether it's meta, weapons, gnawing hunger and all that nonsense, the prevalence of the mountaintop, and now Wither Horde, because lordy, there's a whole lot of that STD shooting grenade launcher out there. And, of course, an even bigger topic of conversation is skill-based matchmaking in the Crucible. This is the first Iron Banner where there's been no skill-based matchmaking, so I'm sure we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about for the course of this episode. But I want to do a quick roundtable real quick, starting with you, Crit. You've played Iron Banner. How has your experience been in the Iron Banner this time around?
So I would say it's very similar to before. You see a lot of either stomping or getting stomped, right? I think we all agree that we see pretty much about the same amounts of that we saw before.
Mm-hmm.
More or less.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
you were farming Elo today, yeah.
Yeah, I had an 11 win streak today, and I want to say more than half of those were complete and total just shutouts. It was pretty great. We mercied the other team several times.
My experience has been similar. When teaming up with Nem, I think TBL, you were in a few of our matches during this weekend. It seems that if you go in with a team, you're gonna have a great time.
Oh yeah.
If you go in solo, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
That's about my take of it. And yeah, I yield the floor.
No, I think you're absolutely right. It's Iron Banner has kind of always been sort of either mercy or get mercied, and it was that but times 10 this time around for me. I, for the most part, enjoyed it. This is the first Iron Banner I was actually looking forward to in a long time. And I got to say, this is the first Iron Banner I've played through on all three characters, I think, maybe since Forsaken came out. And I had a great time. And it was either I jump in there and mercy the other team or get mercied within 3 minutes, back to back to back. So you're absolutely right when you say it's a toss of the dice for how it's going to go. And a lot of that is to do with teams. When I was with you guys, and Nim and that group there, it was pretty much stomping back to back to back. But most of my Iron Banner experience was solo, and I gotta say, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I liked that the quest wasn't obnoxious this time.
No,
it was what, get 25 auto rifle kills, 25 sidearm kills, and you're done. You get the
right.
weapons.
I don't think you even had to get final blows. Wasn't it just you assist? Like assist would count, but precision kills counted for 2.
Yeah. Like they made it ridiculously easy to get done this time around, to the point where I think I had the auto rifle kills done my first game and then the sidearm kills done my second game.
I thought I had to do that. I thought I had to do that per character.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, where's the quest on the other two? This is weird. I've never experienced this before in Destiny 2 Iron Banner.
Yeah. Apparently the smart play was picking up the quest on all 3 characters first, completing it on one, and then turning it in for completion on the others, because it would just track across all characters.
Didn't do
that. That was the because you might have actually had some chances. You might actually have some chances to get the weapons then, as opposed to now where
it's a crapshoot. Yeah.
Heaven forbid.
I wish I had grabbed it on all 3 characters, because good Lord, is getting a copy of the forward path kind of rough. I think to date I've gone through about 1,700 Iron Banner tokens. I had a good 700 stored in my vault, and I've earned over 1,000 over the course of the week. I've gotten maybe 6 or 7 of them. I've gotten 1 or 2 good ones, but not an Iron Gaze one. That's what I really want to try. A decent stability Iron Gaze version, just to have the cheesy 90+ aim assist auto rifle, which should be pretty good on control, to be perfectly honest. But Aura, you weren't here last week, so I didn't get to ask you the question that I asked to the audience in that you are probably the biggest PvP player here on the show, at least usually is on the show. How has your PvP experience been thus far in Season of Arrivals, and how was your experience in Iron Banner?
Connection-based matchmaking has made things so much better for so many different reasons. The games aren't as competitive. When they are competitive, I appreciate them a whole lot more. Like when I go up against really, really good players, I'm not like, oh, you screw this guy. Like it's like, oh wow, he's really good. That was a great shot. Because I'm so used to like constantly playing all these great players before. But having your shots land where you're aiming, not worrying about hit registration has been like just as a global experience has been so much better that no matter your skill level, having a bullet go where you send it is going to make it better for you. No matter your skill level, that's going to feel good. So connection has been really, really good. Iron Banner has been really fun. It has been a whole lot more laxed. I have been a solo player. I've been in teams from 2 all the way to 6. I have matched teams of 2 all the way, this from solo players all the way to 6 stacks. And there hasn't really been a fear. I haven't had the fear of God struck in me when I see a lineup or a roster. I've barely been able to recognize names. Honestly, I haven't even really matched a lot of players that I know, like, which used to be I could set my watch to it. I'm going to match so-and-so at this time, so-and-so here, there. None of that. And I feel like if the player pool was large enough that Bungie could kind of leave this switch turned on, it would be better for everybody. It can't feel, I mean, dude, I don't even know what our win streak is when I 6-stacked with 5 of the best players I've ever seen in my entire life. And we were beating people 90-3. 90-4, 90-6. The game was like, let's see if we can hold them to under 10 kills and end the game in like, I don't know, in a minute and a half to 2 minutes or something like that. Ended up being what it was. So there's a balance to all of this, and this isn't it. And I want it to be like, I want this to be the Crucible experience. I do, but I want more players to enjoy it. And want to participate. And I'm not sure this is doing that. All of the greatest players in the world love this because we can go out there, we can hit our clips. I'm vooping like I never vooped before because I don't have players keeping me honest with it. I don't have players using chaperone, keeping me at bay. I don't have players who are able to consistently hit 3 critical shots in a row. So I can voop my booty off right now and not worry about it and know my bolts are going to land where I aim. But there needs to be some sort of matchmaking system that isn't just connection based, because this isn't what I don't want to have happen is be scaring players off so that they either never play Crucible or never want to play Destiny again. And I'm finding some of our Iron Banner matches are against players who are new to the game. Like brand new to the game. Like that player does not belong in a lobby with 6 of us. I'm the worst player on the team in this 6-stack by far. Like they don't belong in that lobby. And in terms of the meta, I don't like the AR meta, but ARs are finally good in PvE. And I don't think you can make a change to ARs in Crucible that doesn't negatively impact them in PvE. Like, Gnawing Hunger isn't just good in Crucible, it's also really strong
everywhere.
It's strong everywhere. Gambit, you name it, it's going to do work. I like it. Today. The problem with it in Crucible is it has like 1 billion bullets. So I could start firing from one position, walk 30 feet, turn a corner, and still be holding down the same clip. And so there's definitely, I don't know what the term for it is, a low skill ceiling on the weapon. But I would rather this scenario than they be completely irrelevant. Now, grenade launchers can go straight to hell. I don't think they belong in Destiny. I never have thought they belong in Destiny. Like Mountaintop, Truth Teller, whatever, they can all go straight to hell. Even the Swarm of the Raven and all that kind of stuff. They like, and listen, Wither Hordes might be one of the coolest weapons Bungie's come out with in recent memory. I think it blows away the exotics from the recent seasons, whether it's the Devil's Ruin or the Symmetry or whatever you want to call the seasonal exotics. Wither Horde is a very unique weapon, and it's really cool. But I hate grenade launchers.
I think that's a fair assessment, and I would say there's probably a lot of people who, especially over the course of this week with Iron Banner, with it always, of course, being Control, probably agree with you on the whole grenade launcher shouldn't be a thing sort of notion. I've seen a lot of Wither Horde spam in PvP. It's a very strong weapon to be able to drop onto control points where people are forced to stand in order to make any points in the game mode. So yeah.
Problem countering Wither Horde. It's more been the mountaintops and the Fighting Lions and the other ones where they're going to do their damage almost immediately. Wither Horde is such a predictable, slow, like that thing. They might as well shoot a balloon at you. It takes so long to get where it's going. So like it is incredibly predictable. If you're dying to Wither Horde, you're not paying attention.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty well. There's one of them they're easy to counter. We played a team that had 6 Gnawing Hungers and 6 Wither Hordes where the floor was literally lava. Now they got mercied too, but it was kind of wild. It was kind of wild seeing the entire floor of like Wither Horde. That was unique. But it's a pretty easy weapon to counter. It's just how you would counter most grenade launchers.
Right.
You want to stay in the air. You want to stay in the air as long as you
Yeah.
possibly can and try and bait that shot. So Wither Horde isn't terrible in Crucible. I like it in PvE because it's a fire forget damage over time, also doing direct impact damage kind of weapon. It allows flexibility and maneuverability that a lot of other grenade launchers just don't. It's a grenade. It's a damage over time grenade that comes out of a gun.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, man. I would agree. I think a lot of the seasonal exotics, by the way, I found the spider and I'm not taking my eyes off of it. So sorry. In showbiz, you're supposed to keep your eyes on the camera, but nah, not happening. He's on my my Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and I will not take my eyes off of it now.
It's
mine.
You end up going to the hospital because of this thing.
because of Florida Spider.
Yeah.
Florida Spider.
But I was just gonna say that when it comes to some of these seasonal exotics, they've been pretty creative. I like the concept of Devil's Ruin. I like what it does. I like what Xenophage does. But Wither Horde has probably been the most creative new exotic option. I mean, it's a grenade launcher that does a significant amount of damage, but also leaves a burn. And then what is it? Like you direct hit an enemy, and then like it ticks on them, kills them, and then drops another one.
And
it's pretty neat. It's
exactly the size of a control point too.
That's what that was my point.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
So you can just kind of go
more
drop it
success
on
with Arc Bolt and Arc Web than I have with Wither Horde in terms of chaining and controlling a capture point, especially in Iron Banner. You spawn in, you go straight to the opposite control point, throw a grenade, fire one bullet, and the whole team's dead. Yeah. And you get your grenade back to do it again when they go back to, from A they go to C.
Yeah.
Do the same thing, rinse, repeat.
Have you guys played on like other platforms, like outside of PC?
Yes.
I have not, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Crit, how's your experience been?
So today, actually, I did some survival with some friends, and we were on, Cauldron. We were on Cauldron doing survival. They came in with like 3 snipers, and so I was a Suro Spell Winters user. I was dominating them. The team was dominating them.
It's good.
But then the little bastards switched to Wither Horde, all 3 of them Wither Horde, and they all just camped in middle and then got you as you tried to get them.
Gotcha.
So that's been my experience on console with it.
With Iron Banner today, I mean, like people would try to land it on the point, but there was like, I played on PlayStation today. I played last night on PC, and the results were more varied when it came to Iron Banner, where it's like we were still running like a 6-stack pretty much the entire time, but we only I think we dropped a couple of games, like 2 or 3 games last night out of 10, and then today we just mopped the floor with everyone. I saw some Wither Horde spam, but I also felt like at least on PlayStation, like I could be more comfortable and not sweat as much using loadouts that were a little more experimental, one could say. I was using the bow from Garden of Salvation and Valakaden, which Valakaden kind of falls into that 600 RPM.
Isn't it a rapid fire frame?
I think so, yeah.
Valakaden is a vicious buzzsaw. It is a sweet business that is an exotic, and it has like you can end up rolling them with like 70-something rounds or something in it. It is absurd.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, that's what I was rolling around with all day today, and it was wonderful. I had a lot of fun today. But yeah, like Wither Horde, I don't see it as a problem in the Crucible. I saw some people in my chat talking about like making it so that the damage hurt both sides rather than just the enemy. And I was like, I mean, it's not really necessary because you can jump over it.
Yeah.
Honestly, but
I don't know what it's like looking at it on console though, because it's pretty like blatant on PC.
Yeah. Same.
I'm not sure if the frame rate or resolution of a console has a hard time displaying, keeping up. Maybe it's doing damage before you actually, before it visually displays that it's there, kind of thing. I don't know.
See,
I'm trying to think of a way to. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
I don't think it does. I think it just for me, this experience has been the same both places. So I think it's like fairly well balanced for both, but I don't think it I don't think it ticks without you knowing it on console. And it's still easily like avoidable.
Are we seeing a lot of grenade launchers because people are trying to finish the catalyst for it? Like, because I don't remember, like out of nowhere, there's just so much of. I think there's a catalyst for Tommy's matchbook that involves AR kills or something like that. I haven't finished yet either.
Yeah.
So like, is that why, or is it because Gnawing Hunger is so good that it? Well, it feels like getting shot by a light machine gun.
Could this
getting hit by it?
Could this be the perfect storm, right? So Tommy's catalyst is back for those who want to complete it. Hence, also 600 RPM ARs are the meta. So those are two factors that are in tandem, hand in hand, right? And then additionally, Mountaintop's always been obnoxious, and we have grenade launcher kills required for the catalyst. So I think it's the perfect storm of those elements mixing together.
You also, on top of that, you also have like the people who might be like last minute running for Mountaintop. Right?
Yeah.
The people who never experienced it, the people who are going after it. I don't think I don't think Witherhoard kills count toward that process, but I could be very wrong about that. I haven't checked.
It shows grenade launcher kill if they die by the burn.
Okay.
Because it was part of how I got I was learning Crucible and mouse and keyboard, and all I was doing was W keying, meleeing, and putting a Witherhoard down because that was enough damage to get the kill, and it counted towards the thing, and it shows when you die by the burn, it shows the grenade launcher in the kill feed.
Okay.
So I don't know if it doesn't count. I know what would be actually triggering it to not count. Like if it showed an explosion, then of course it wouldn't count, but I'm pretty sure it showed the grenade launcher itself.
Right.
My memory's not what it used to be.
I don't know. Yeah, it like I thought I had been told that it didn't. That source could have been absolutely wrong.
They could have been experiencing. So you know how occasionally you'll do a Crucible match and it won't count towards a milestone, or you're working on a bounty and it's not going to count. Could be the same problem. They could have been experiencing that.
Yeah.
If I had to take a guess.
Let me ask you this, because I feel like it's blatantly apparent that while skill-based matchmaking is really difficult for a lot of people, this has also been relatively difficult for a lot of people. There's one thing that I think helps, and it's that losing Iron Banner matches really doesn't do anything to you other than your mental state of having to suffer the loss. Whereas I don't think do you get less tokens if you lose than if you win?
You get 3 versus 5.
So you get 2 less tokens. Most of the time, if you get mercied, the game's over. The amount of time it would take to play a full match at length. So it's possible if you continue to get mercied that you're going to end up netting more coins or more tokens than if you actually played through the full games. So the balance here is that there's actually gear worth acquiring because apparently the AR is good. I haven't even looked at the drops I've gotten.
It's pretty good.
It's a decent legendary kinetic if you need a 600 RPM in that slot.
There's again just a ton of enhanced mods that are being thrown at you every time you rank up.
Oh yeah.
There's armor that is potentially high stat rolled.
Yep.
So is the suffering worth the reward considering we're playing a looter shooter? Do you think that the player base is reacting positively in the fact that, okay, I'm losing games, but my ultimate goal here isn't to win our banner matches. My ultimate goal is to walk away with a sick build, some great mods I can use, and a decent set of weapons. Is that a fair trade-off?
I would suppose that's really to the player, because if I lose, no matter what, even if it's not serious, if I lose, I don't have a good time. But somebody else could be perfectly fine with losing all their matches that night, but still walking away with tokens.
So when I look at this, I look at it on a macro scale. with the question of being, are people taking the time to run through Iron Banner this time around? Is it worth the time for players to invest into it? And I think one of the best ways to look at that is by checking player numbers. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the Crucible player numbers, but I have over the past week. It's been some of the highest in Destiny 2's history. Like, for the first time, I'm pretty sure in Destiny 2's history, the number of active Crucible players has been almost, not quite, but almost equal to the number of active PvE players. You know, websites like Destiny Tracker and other websites track the number of accounts that are playing in certain activities every single day. And over the course of this week, I checked it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then today. It was on Tuesday, it was over 900,000 people playing Crucible. On Wednesday, it was over 900,000 people playing Crucible. And then pretty much every other day I checked it, it was about 890-something thousand people playing Crucible. These are numbers that are almost 3 times as much as what people were playing in previous seasons. So when I try to think of whether or not people are finding value in Crucible and Iron Banner right now, I just look at the numbers and say, obviously something's working, because these numbers, even in Iron Banner's past, even in Double Valor weeks past, even in Mayhem weeks past, all of which is active right now, we've never gotten anywhere near these kinds of numbers. I remember when Trials first dropped, and what were the first week's numbers for Trials were what?
300,000. I thought it was
300. I thought it was 500,000.
Yeah, I thought it was in the threes.
So we're 300,000 to 400,000 above that. So obviously people are finding some kind of value in the Crucible, because it's been all week with this. I do expect those numbers to drop next week, because there's not going to be any Mayhem. There's not going to be any Double Valor. There's not going to be Iron Banner. But I think that's a pretty positive sign for the Iron Banner event this time around. Obviously, I think people are finding it to be worthwhile. And I would agree that it is, you know? It's been a pretty fun experience for me just playing the game. I think the rewards are well worth the effort, because even if you don't care about the 2 reprised guns with the new perch, you know, the Forward Path and the Fool's Remedy, those 4 pinnacle rewards alone, I think, make Iron Banner worth running. That's great for the players out there who can't run raids or who don't run the dungeon or whatnot. They can jump into a game mode like Iron Banner, where the fail state doesn't really matter too much, except for, I think, what is it? One of the bounties that requires wins.
The route. Well, the route requires you drop. It's basically if you drop your light level, and merc characters above you, then it moves faster. And dear God,
Jotun, by the way, curious.
You can be 40 levels underneath somebody.
As I discovered this weekend.
I got that from you. Wait, thank you. Jotun's stupid. If you're having trouble out there, just whip that thing out and laugh as you one-shot people that you should not be one-shotting at all.
But know that you're also going to hell when you die.
Well,
you're scum.
Let me say this. Like, I forgot to even mention the fact that there's 4 pinnacles up for grabs, and we're relatively. This is the first version of Iron Banner we've gotten this season, right?
Yes.
So is it? So the season's still early. There's a lot of players who probably haven't done the power level climb yet. I'm not even 1060 yet, and I haven't really cared about the end game. But do you think it'll lose value as the season progresses, because people will start to get to 1060? And those pinnacles might not be worth it. There might not be a fun factor. Like for us and for my team, this is kind of fun. We're just chilling, goofing off, using PvE loadouts, using random weapon loadouts, just kind of vibing with each other. But do you see the population dropping as the season wears on, and as the pinnacle reward system itself doesn't hold as much value?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you bring up an excellent point. We're early in the season. Numbers are always good at the start of the season. We're in the first third of it, I believe. We're wrapping that up.
The other thing was, TBL said that there was like 800,000 or 900,000 people playing it. When the numbers for Trials came out on PC this weekend, it was like 7,000 Crucible players in Trials. Yeah. So out of 800 or 900,000, like you're talking about like 1%, maybe. I don't know. My math is terrible. So it isn't because of Trials. Like,
right. No, they're doing something. I feel like they're doing something good with Iron Banner, especially with the 4 pinnacles being up for grabs. And I think they're +2s. Is that right? They're +2 pinnacles.
They're real
equal
pinnacles
to my current power level, so I was pissed, but I didn't care because I was having fun.
They're real pinnacles, unlike the line pinnacles in the Strikes and Gambit and Crucible. Yeah. Those are really just powerful level 3s.
Pretty much.
Sorry.
But do you think that there needs to be some sort of balancing in play? Because like I said, skill-based matchmaking being turned off is awesome. It's gotten to a point where some of the top tier players might actually be getting bored.
Right.
Whereas, so this was my thought.
Okay.
Skill-based matchmaking, connection needs to be the primary thing because we need to be able to have our bullets go where we're aiming.
Agreed.
Maybe skill-based matchmaking isn't the play, but account-based power level with power level turned off. Because what I'm trying to do is there's at this amount of population, 900,000 people playing, there are enough experienced gamers to put into a lobby together and enough non-experienced players to put into their own lobbies together. So is there a way for us to maybe not be sweating against Russians? No offense to the Russian player base. We love you. But also not be beating up on baby guardians. You know what I mean? There should be some sort of where I'm playing against players who understand positioning, understand how to read radar, understand distance engagement. The amount of players that I've played against this week that don't know anything about Crucible probably shouldn't be in our lobby.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for them to learn. When I get frustrated in Crucible, when I'm playing against 6 god tier players where my shots aren't registering, I can't improve. I have no chance of being able to read my radar better, react a bit faster, land my shots better because I'm constantly being attacked from all angles. That's what these players are experiencing. And I want to assume that players want to get better. This isn't the environment for them to even attempt to get better. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right. So I think in your scenario, you're describing basically some time, and there's no other barbells and no other benches except for the one that's got 545 plates on each side. And you've got that person, just lift it, get your butt kicked by it, you'll get better over time. It's no, there's literally just such an obstacle in their way that they're going to be dead before they know it, and they have no way of learning from this situation. If I'm understanding the scenario,
right? Because at the same time, I'm not getting better mercying teams of 6 over and over and over again. I'm also not growing as a player. If anything, I'm starting to get lazy, which is going to come back to bite me if I ever actually do go into comp or I do go into trials and I'm playing against players who actually know what they're doing and can land their shots. I'm now a worse player because I've been exposed to this for so long. So how do we figure that out while keeping connection being the primary matchmaking parameter? So my thought process is if you're out there finding a way to become a 1060 Guardian, you know your way around this game.
Yeah.
So maybe if you throw us into the same lobby together, at least I know I'm playing against somebody who understands the basis of Destiny, movement, abilities, guns. I'm telling you guys, I swear, I'm seeing some of the emblems where it's the Hunter emblem, and the character is 960, 10, 1000, something like that. These aren't.
Yeah.
If I went and looked at their time played, I don't think I'm playing against Guardians who've been playing this game very long.
So Destiny 1 had a mechanic where it's you had to play so many games before you were entered into the overall pool. Do we know if that's in Destiny 2?
I'm not sure if it is. Especially considering the game starts everybody at 950 light now.
Right.
You're absolutely right about that system in Destiny 1. I actually got to do some testing with that. It's almost like a Guardian sort of kindergarten when it comes to Crucible, and it lasts for, I want to say, your first 10 PvP games.
Yeah.
And then the game kind of figures out where you should be placed based on elo and starts matchmaking you based off of that. And I'm not sure if that same system exists here in D2.
Yeah. Pins brought up an interesting thing. He said, would you prefer at the beginning of a season you play 10 games to set your level and then you match off of that? I think
that's comp.
Yeah.
That's skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
The unfortunate reality for, I would even go so far as to say the top 10% of players, is that there's not enough players within that pool to consistently match each other and have good connections for a good positive experience. Instead, I'm getting shot around a wall. I landed the first shot on that person first, and we traded. We're getting into melee trades. My bolts aren't landing where I'm shooting. The whole thing about maintaining connection based the whole time is that I want to play players based off their experience level more so than skill level or I guess. And I don't know if that's a possibility for something like Iron Banner, because it is an end game activity, and it sure as shit doesn't feel like it.
No, it is like the most lazy. Like it is paddling a swan boat. That's how relaxing it is. Just you and the love of your life.
Pretty casual.
Paddling a swan boat, shooting people in the face, and getting away with it.
And I think there's kind of a benefit to that, because Iron Banner I always looked at as being the casual player's way of reaching pinnacle power without having to play something like Trials or Raids.
It's how I got to the power cap in D1. Exactly.
That's how I reached level 30 and in D1 when Dark Below came out, and like Iron Banner really kind of became a thing. My last bit of level 30 gear was Iron Banner stuff. And I don't necessarily know if I want that to change. I kind of like that as an option for players who maybe don't have a full raid group or don't run dungeons or whatever, to have Iron Banner as an option to get them to that pinnacle light.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that to go away either. I think for as long as I can remember, it was like previous to D2, it was always a thing where it was like, all right, well, we're going to run the raid this weekend. Iron Banner's coming up. We should all run that. And like, you'd run that on all three characters, and you'd try to space it out. Like, I find myself going, like, in previous seasons, maybe I didn't do the power climb as deliberately, but now this season I find myself doing so, being more deliberate about it, and I've actually completed it on all three characters now. I think I still have the route on my Warlock, but no, it
takes forever sometimes.
Yeah, it's a great place to get your pinnacle stuff. Yeah, I am, man.
Sorry, pain point.
Let me ask you this: are you participating in the power climb because you enjoy it, or because you have things you want to do? I'm
actually enjoying it. I do want to participate in going for the solo flawless run on this raid. Or not the raid, but the dungeon, because that emblem looks sweet as hell, and I just want to see it on my Titan. That's all I want to see. I've already allocated which one is going to go after it. That's the one. It's getting that. But I want to go for that. I want to help people more with Conqueror, and I think being higher in light earlier will definitely benefit. So
you can help me go for Conqueror, because I haven't run a single Grandmaster Nightfall yet, not one.
Same.
This season's gonna be fun. This season's gonna be fun.
Ninja was like, dude, you should have done it last season. You're an idiot. And I was like, you are right.
Correct.
But so like, you're enjoying the power level climb. I have been enjoying it for the most part, except for like, I just can't, I don't know what it is about Pit of Heresy. I just don't like it.
Okay.
I just don't like Pit of Heresy. Not a big fan of it. Run up to the
boss, grab the checkpoint, just do the checkpoint on all
right.
characters. Yeah.
But so like, part of that frustration is it's so great that I'm getting a masterwork piece of armor that's being sunset.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting I'm building my character around this amazing build, and somehow a year 3 piece of armor is not going to be good in
year 4,
less than 90 days.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, I'm out here grabbing gear for collections before it all goes away. I ran Escalation Protocol with some friends yesterday, and lo and behold, I get the Escalation Protocol helmet on my Warlock, the last piece I'm missing. It's armor 2.0 and has a 1310 max power level.
That's awesome.
So you're taking away my Pit of Heresy gear from year 3, but you're keeping my Warmind armor from Escalation Protocol, which Mars is going away, and it's going to keep going. I don't understand it.
Doesn't make sense.
And I feel like I missed something.
Well, last season Last season they did re-up that gear, right? They did say that the Escalation Protocol stuff was being brought up to 2.0 because it wasn't previously.
And it can now accept. Were they running out of armor or didn't have armor available? It was going to be able to run the mods from season of.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they just added it in because thematically it worked. But like,
yeah.
Honestly, I think it was easy to do for them at that point to just be like, okay, this gear's already in the game. We can make it 2.0. Have at it. Like, just go get it. You might as well run Escalation Protocol if you enjoy it. But when it comes to like, for me, the Pit of Heresy gear that you get Masterwork now, it's like, it is that placeholder piece that is just filling that gap in the wall. And then once I get another higher piece of gear, it's immediately getting destroyed because it's always masterworked. It's all of mine have ever been like low 60s to high 60s. And that's the max that they can cap out at, which means that piece of gear is actually a 50, somewhere in there. I would much rather just keep use it as free enhancement cores after it no longer fills my purposes for power climb.
No, not bad.
So yeah, it's weird that that's going away as the thing, or as a piece of gear that could matter in the long run. But like they said, it was like 12 to 15 months on sunsetting gear, right? Which also,
no, this is sunset after this season.
Right, exactly. It's done. Like it would be a year in September. So I don't know.
But it's been 2 years since Escalation Protocol.
Right. But they re-upped that gear last season. Therefore, they rebaked it.
All right. So what about Leviathan armor that's now being shipped as 2.0 armor?
Dog, I don't know, man.
Hands in the air, gives up. I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
Look, all I know is what I know, and what I know is very little.
Yeah, all I'll say about this is sunsetting armor makes no sense to me.
Armor 2.0 made no sense.
It does.
I'm gonna go so far.
Sunsetting armor only makes sense because of the mod system, because of the seasonal mod system. That is it. They don't want to be messing around with abilities that you could do in Season of the Worthy and Season of the Unworthy, like 2 years from now. So that is the only reason why it makes any sense, because they're trying to.
Couldn't you just sunset those mods though?
I guess
especially
you could.
Since you're going to continuously rotate mods in and out.
You're sunsetting everything else.
Yeah, I'd prefer that, or for them to sunset mods in this and just change which mods are available for you to equip in that seasonal slot, rather than getting rid of the entire piece of armor for what's undoubtedly going to be a reprised version of it in another couple of seasons.
Especially with the cost of investment.
Yeah.
Right. Like the investment team needs to sit down with some people and like have a come to Jesus talk, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like they seem to be playing a different game than the rest of us sometimes. But yeah, with the terms of cost, masterwork cores, shards, prisms, glimmer, not so much, but just time. And time farming, right? I may never get that great intellect recovery piece that I'm looking for to complete my set to get me 100 intellect, 100 recovery. Right now, my hunter, I'm at 99 intellect. I'm fully masterworked.
Jesus.
And I'm at 100 recovery and 99 intellect. I want you to understand how physically painful it is for me. Oof. But so, I may never get that piece that's going to get me to 100, and that alone is frustrating.
Yeah.
Let alone it being the right element to allow you to put on the right weapon you want to use for that. Along with whatever exotic you're going to run being the correct element. Now, I have not gotten Dune Marchers to drop at all.
Oof.
At all in Armor 2.0. I'm pulling from collections my 48 or whatever stat rolled. Meanwhile, I go to Caesar and I get 7 Aeon souls in a row. And it's like, this would have been resolved easily if Armor 2.0 wasn't a thing for the sake of just existing. And like, Bungie's like, we got this right. I get it.
Yeah.
It takes longer to grind armor than it does to grind weapons.
Yeah.
It does. And this relates to something I brought up earlier. I don't know. It would be great if we had daily Iron Banner bounties. And then somebody was like, I thought we were trying to step away from bounties. I said, that's fine. You're right. Eventually we need to step away from them. But for now, if I want to have a chance at getting more than the 3 forward paths I got this season, I'm going to need a way to amass more tokens even quicker than say 5 on wins, 3 on losses. That's my own those are my personal feelings on the subject.
I guess you would have to choose between. In certain instances, I wonder how they're going to rework the bounty system, because they talk about they're going to. I think at a certain point, you have to choose between gear and experience, right? Like if it were in that scenario, it would be
experience
like, okay,
only exists because of the artifact. Like, it's like a made up number. But
you get rid of, like, you take any experience gains out of that bounty because what you're going for is gear. Like, that would kind of be the balance, right? Like, you want this gear, you want this guaranteed piece of gear, you get no experience for it. That's it. Your experience was you getting that gun. I don't know.
I mean, I'm using Ace of Spades, Aaron Till, and whatever power up and drops for me. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm using old stuff anyway.
I'm
gonna have a problem when Aaron Till gets Sunset for Iron Banner because it's been so good. I don't know. Wisdom Rebuke, I guess, is gonna be the go to, but God forbid I got to use a shotgun or a sniper. Ugh.
The thing is, we have to hope that you get a high impact season.
I don't think any of them are gonna. There's something about Omelan frames that just gives them better base stability, that despite whatever the stat number is, the number might be 40 or whatever, but the number doesn't matter because the bolt pattern out of Omelan fusion rifles is tighter than any of the spreads at the same charge rate coming out of any of the other guns. And I don't even know if it's Hake or who else makes them, but there's something about the Aaron Till and its bolt pattern from the factory that makes it a better fusion than anything else that's out there. And there's also something to be said about the muzzle flash, because the Wisdom Rebuke is a very good gun, but the arc muzzle flash on it is interruptive, and it can't roll with a high zoom scope. It only gets the sights. So I don't know that another high impact is going to matter for me if it's not something similar to what I've already been using. Now I can go into 6s and use it all day long, and I still will. But when Iron Banner, who the hell knows? Maybe when Iron Banner comes around, I'll still be using a 1060 fusion rifle and still be putting people down. If the Yotun does it, you know what I'll probably end up doing? I'll switch to Merciless.
Ooh,
that's what I'm doing. I'll be just
evergreen. It's evergreen.
Future proofing your loadout.
Yeah. I'm honestly thinking about just going through and tanking my entire vault. Just
a couple of people did that this week.
Well, yeah, didn't Glad do that?
Some for charity, I think, too.
Clean Vault Club or something like that. I saw that trending on Twitter. But it's like, a lot of my stuff isn't going to be worthwhile. If we get a bunch of stuff in September, then 500 spots is not going to hold it, or the 32 spots that I have available right now is not going to hold it. And so, like, I don't know.
But not everything is being sunset.
True.
There's weapons that are dropping from the raids that are still like the Sacred Providence. Is that what it's called? The raid pulse rifle is very strong. Your Trials weapons are still decent. Astral Horizon, Eye of Soul, and then there's I think there's a pulse rifle from Trials maybe too. I forget. But I'm keeping stuff in the vault because you don't ever know what's going to be good and when.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm keeping, and I don't know because we don't know enough about transmog yet, is I went back and ran a bunch of year 1 raids this week, and I'm keeping the armor that drops, not because I need it, but because I don't know if it being in collections is going to be enough to warrant it being an ornament, or if you have to physically have a copy of it and then delete it for it to become an ornament.
Right.
So I'm keeping a bunch of crap that now I'm finding armor is now taking the place of some of the weapons that I had in my vault.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. And you really can't, without them coming out and saying it ahead of time, you have to kind of sit there twiddling your thumbs and
guess,
which is not good. That's not a good communication strategy. I think we should know now, but that's me. I don't work there. So,
especially considering one of my big gripes, I talked a bit about it earlier this week. The way they're sunsetting things right now, I've got a bit of a problem. And I think As to Cross made a video about this too, where he made some of the same points. So they're sunsetting a lot of stuff, but they're also reprising some of the stuff that we've previously earned and bringing it back into
Swarm
the
of
game.
the Raven.
Swarm
Is
of
one
the
of the
Gnawing
big
Hunger.
focal points.
Gnawing Hunger, Orwing's Maul, stuff that you may have grinded for and earned specific rolls of in the past. They're reintroducing with the exact same perk pool, no major difference other than this new one can get to a new higher power level.
The icon, basically.
They're gonna
icon
reverse
change.
that, dude.
I hope
there's no
they
way
have
they
to.
don't. There's no way they don't.
Yeah, and that's but that's the way things are right now. There's the season of the Drifter Gnawing Hunger, and then there's this season's Gnawing Hunger, and the only difference between them is the icon and the power level they can reach in another season or so, and that's not worthwhile. That's not a good system for Sunset.
So it's gonna be one of two things is gonna happen. They're gonna rename Swarm of the Raven into the Gaggle of Geese.
The Gaggle of Geese.
It's gonna be the same gun, just be renamed, so now it's not the same gun, right?
No, it's Canadian.
Yeah. or they're just gonna say, no, we're right. You guys are right. These 3 weapons, because it's only 3, no matter what season they were in, they'll be able to get to max level of 1360 or whatever.
Yeah.
I really don't, because there's not a lot of guns. It's only a couple, right? Is it only Gnawing Hunger, Swarm of the Raven? Is that the and Orwing's Maul?
Orwing's Maul.
Night Watch, Gnawing Hunger,
Criminal's Dagger.
All of the Iron Banner weapons.
All the Iron Banner weapons.
Only a couple of them really matter because there's some of them are just bad, you know.
Some of them are
you can't have good guns without having bad ones. It's just fact of the matter.
No, that's,
like
that's absolutely true.
You have to have bad guns and bad rolls so you appreciate the good stuff. Like I get that. But in terms of like actual true value right now, at least in the current meta, there's only 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I hope you're ready, Aura, for when Beyond Light comes out, for there to be a new reprised Erentil that is no different from the one you've already grinded out.
More than enough materials that are necessary to wherever it drops, I will be. Listen, we were talking about today during stream. I have like 18,000 legendary shards.
Yep.
I've got 20-something thousand weapon parts. Like wherever this thing is landing, if it does end up being reprised, I'll be there. You put me in the direction, I'll figure it out.
Right. But I just hope they come up with something that's a bit more different than, hey, here's the same weapon you already grinded for with the exact same perk pool you already rolled for on it. It's just look at the icon. Mm-hmm. That's not worthwhile to me.
It'll be like mountaintop. It'll be like mountain basin. or like valley floor. We'll just make a valley floor for one or something like that. Like
we're getting rid of mountaintop, but check out this new grenade launcher, Valley Floor.
Yeah,
it's that same ability.
Valley Forge Floor.
Top, you will not be missed.
Oh,
this one belongs to Dolly Parton.
Gotten used to using it. I will say that like PvE is going to have a whole different vibe to it when mountaintop isn't in the arsenal to pull from. And I understand that we've got Orwing's Maul for a grenade launcher, but
truth teller,
like there's a reason why mountaintop is the go-to, and you're not seeing other Martyr's Retribution or Militia's Birthright and all these other options that we have.
Yeah, so I'll miss it. I'm definitely gonna miss it.
Yeah. Outside of that, what else happened this week? We have
Bungie Days coming up.
Yeah, Bungie Days coming up on Tuesday.
Fashion Week. Make sure you're using a blue shader.
Yeah,
people are putting their all black.
Nobody read the blue.
Yeah,
nobody.
Have blue.
It has to have a blue shader.
I've got a few shots ready.
We've got the Art Week thing too, which is basically the same thing as Fashion Week, but for our artists out there to submit some of their artwork to Bungie and potentially get a brand new emblem. Bungie said they're doing something special on Bungie Day, which is going to be interesting. They usually do silly stuff there. I'd imagine it's probably going to have something to do with Solstice of Heroes or Moments of Triumph. One of the two of those.
Yeah. Because
one of the two of those is going live on this coming Tuesday, July 7th. So I hope everybody's ready for that. I think it's Moments of Triumph because we were talking about this last week, Dan.
Yeah, Solstice happens later on.
Yeah. So Moments of Triumph is going to be going live this week on Bungie Day. So expect some shenanigans to go along with that. And I wonder what it's going to entail. For the most part, all we know about Moments of Triumph is there's going to be a couple of triumphs that you'll be challenged to complete. You probably already have some of them done. We talked about this last week. You can go to Dim and check some of the ones that aren't hidden right now, and see what you've already got completed. But who knows what else is going to come along with it? It's probably going to be another title. Maybe
Probably.
a ship or a sparrow.
Do we get a statue? I want another statue.
Yeah. Yeah. Another weird statue. Yeah.
It's a statue that goes right on top of the other one.
Anything to get rid of that ugly Titan statue next to Zavala.
I was so waiting for like the debris from the Almighty to take out, because that would have been great.
It would have been too funny.
Oh my gosh. I kind of wish that had happened now. All that hype up about, so the winning class is going to get a permanent fixture in the tower. And then the Almighty blows it up. Oh, how unfortunate.
That's too Borderlands for Destiny.
That is a very Borderlands thing.
Yeah.
You're right, but doesn't mean I can't wish it happened.
Yes. I'm there with you. So that's going on Tuesday. Bungie announced a new Twitch extension this week, didn't they?
No, so it is not a new Twitch extension. It is an extension of their extension, where if you go to someone's channel who has the official Twitch extension activated, you have to have your Bungie account attached to your Twitch profile to do this. You go into that person's channel, you donate 2 subs, and you get a emblem, I believe 3 times shaders, and then a bunch of mats and a bunch of masterworking stuff.
Yeah.
So some cores.
Yeah, so you get some cores and everything like that. I think the emblem only comes the first time that you do that, right? I think you can sub infinitely if you'd like to get more mats that pay for more mats.
That's dangerous territory to be trading in.
It is. However, as someone who benefits from it,
wow, Dan's objectivity is gone.
I can't be objective. I can't be objective. It is a as a streamer, it's been really interesting. That first week when it went live,
it was wild.
Was really wild. I mean, to the point where in the directory you had Glad went on what, like a 48-hour stream, or was it 42 hours?
It was a long time. It was somewhere around there.
And broke Twitch subtrain records, the whole thing. It
was like 22,000.
Yeah, and
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bonkers. So, but yeah, I cannot be objective. It would be I want to. At least I'm telling you that I can be objective. But there's
a conflict of interest here.
Yeah, I'd like to hear anybody else's thoughts on it, please.
I think it's cool. I think it's a neat way to incentivize people to continue watching and supporting Destiny channels like yours, Mr. Danfinity. Yeah. And it's a cool little reward for gifting subs, because gifting subs happens quite a bit to on Destiny streams, so it's a neat little incentive for people. I like it. It's cool. I got no problems.
Yeah,
it's certainly a rich get richer scenario in some cases. I did my 2 for someone who wasn't at the top. I think she had like 50 years.
Okay,
so that's the way I went.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Aura,
I did my 2 with Jaden.
Hey, yeah,
right on.
Mod Sherpa.
Yeah, on Tuesday. I remember
there
that.
You go.
So it's great. There's not a single negative thing to really be said about it.
Yeah,
it's money, and people can spend it however they want because they earned it.
That's right.
Far be it for me to be like, no, you should spend you should spend your money however you damn well please.
Yeah. Damn right.
It's what is it? I mean, I think at least it's not a weapon. It's not something that
it's not I gotta be honest with you. The emblem isn't all that. And I'm a purple guy. I like the color purple.
Are we about to have a fight, Aura?
I don't think the emblem that's great, man.
I'm with Aura on this one. The emblem is not fire.
I don't think the emblem's all that good looking. And no offense, Bungie, our team's incredible. I love you guys. Look, seriously, you have way more wins than you have losses. Beauty is in the beholder. I don't see it.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. TBL, you're the tiebreaker. How do you feel about the emblem?
It's very simple. It's a very simple emblem. It's not the ugliest emblem in the game, but
there's special. IO has shaders. That is by far the ugliest thing in the game.
Ugh.
This
So
no
that's
first
the-
wave.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
you know?
signal. Back in the day, back in Destiny 1, there was an emblem that streamers could get. I think you had to stream for 30 hours.
Yes.
I love that
in order to
emblem. It was
get
good.
Yeah. That one,
That was a good
very
emblem.
nice. That's a
Yeah.
good emblem. Yeah. But I don't
And-
know.
Yeah. I mean, cool. It's a cool enough reward. I like that kind of stuff, but I really think it's past time Bungie started implementing animated emblems. I think it's way past time they did that. Remember, I think in Forsaken, right before Forsaken, was it before Forsaken came out or before Shadowkeep came out when we had the first community event where we had to go like do escalation protocol and kill a bunch of hive or whatever?
Oh yeah,
And-
you could do the strikes. You could do escalation protocols.
Yeah.
And then I forget what the other. There were like 3 things you could do.
I think because we got like a reward, an emblem reward or something for that. I think an animated emblem would have been a much better reward there because it's something we don't really have here in Destiny 2. I think that they could put out something like that that's reserved for these very special occasions. And the static, weird kind of simple emblem we got for this is neat and all. It's not great. If they had made like some kind of crazy animated emblem, maybe even something as simple as just showing a rotating traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been cool. Call of Duty implemented that a long time ago, and they're by far and away some of the most popular call tags and emblems you can get in any COD game. And I think that'd be, if Bungie's going to continue doing little stuff like this where they put out exclusive emblems, give us some animated ones. Your art team is amazing. I'm sure you could do some crazy stuff with that. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
True. No, that's true.
Gray Fox has a retort to that in chat. He says, slow down those frames on console even more.
Ooh,
Yes.
Not next gen consoles, not the next gen.
Not the next gen.
Maybe
but
going
yeah,
forward.
Yeah.
that would be cool. Outside of that, no, yeah, I feel it's really cool. I think it's an interesting way for Bungie to give back to their to the streaming community
Yeah.
side of it that maybe don't get invited to like the big things in their careers, right? Like going to a like an event, a release event, or a summit, any of those types of things. But it's pretty bonkers. I am fully expecting there to be a massive fall off in my sub revenue though. I'm like as a Twitch streamer expecting it. I'm expecting like a massive drop off. But right now we're sitting at like we're sitting at the most subs I've ever seen, and without putting the number out there. And it's
A lot of channels are.
it's pretty impeccable. Like just the Destiny community is very giving of their time and their energy and of their money anyway. And I don't know. It's benefiting me, and I can't be subjective.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Was that pretty much it for the news bits we had to talk about this week?
I think so. I believe we have.
Right on.
There's nothing. Yeah, Iron Banner. We have the fashion show coming up. We have the art show. Make sure that you're not stealing somebody's art, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
Yeah,
That's the scummiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Well, one of.
So, outside of that, yeah, I think we're good. Good to go for questions. If anybody has questions in chat, feel free to drop them.
Right on.
Let's see here. So Jebby asks,
Mhm.
how do y'all feel about the artifact glitch in Iron Banner?
Can we describe the glitch, please?
I think it's just randomly every now and again it'll count somebody's artifact in Iron Banner.
Yeah, so nobody should be above 1060 light in Iron Banner. You should be whatever your max power level is without your artifact. And I mean, out of the probably 100 games I've played, it's only happened a handful of times. And honestly, I don't even know if I've noticed. The deltas haven't felt so extreme. I felt like I've taken more damage than I've dealt a couple of times, but like it wasn't anything I couldn't learn from in that one particular engagement and then figure out for my next couple of bouts against that said player. So it's whatever. It's At least it's not fully active for all players. So
yeah, it was rare enough that I think I only ever actively noticed it once, where somebody was like 1075, and I did a quick double take, like, whoa, oh, well, okay,
Real gamer hours right there.
real gamer hours. This man broke the code.
My 2 cents, as Aura and TPL have said, I've come across it a handful. Became such a persistent thing where I was like, son of a gun, had that bot walking, Johnny Five Thumbs not had his 20 power level over me, I would have decimated him. It was never that. So, but I can understand where somebody would have a very frustrating experience. And we also have to remember the context in which this was applied, right? Because we're talking about the reintroduction of trials last year, and that first week they couldn't do it. By the second week they had this temporary fix, and that was my understanding, is that this was to be a temporary fix until they sorted something out permanently.
This was a quick thing they kind of threw together after
the
first week.
And that was because they were afraid of people becoming bounty goblins on the moon and dominating people in that first week of trials. So it's really aimed at trials more so than anything else. Iron Band just happens to get a second and third order effect.
So here's hoping they fix it, but it wasn't really as devastating as one might think. Barely noticed.
Yeah.
Long answer made short. Yeah.
Yeah. If it helps me get the route done quicker, then I'm fine with it.
Right?
No, it's gonna help other people get the route done quicker.
That is the last one on every single one of my characters that I got done, and it was like that was the one that was just like, okay, these 3, it's like the first 5 matches, and then this one takes me 4 hours. It's just whatever.
I think they should probably rebalance the way the stat tracks on that one just a little bit, so you're not punished quite so heavily for being max power level. Because it took me a while, like when I was doing my Titans, the second character I ran through Iron Banner on, like the first 3 bounties I completed within, like you said, 4 or 5 games, and it took me forever to get the route done. And I'm like, why is this taking so long?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm 1059.
Light bulb.
Let me intentionally lower my power and weaken myself so that I can get this done in another couple of games. And I think they should probably maybe think about changing that up a bit.
Yeah, and the curve isn't that harsh. I mean, like you can be 1050 and still have it take only 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I didn't really see too much, or I didn't notice so much about the artifact glitch, but so it goes. MF Leucophobia says, or asks, what weapon will everyone miss when it becomes sunset, and what weapon will everyone love to see gone?
I'm gonna miss my Iron Till, even though I'm still gonna use it. And Mountaintop.
Oh man, yeah. For the sake of giving a different answer than Mountaintop, because Mountaintop is just, it's such a fantastic weapon. I'll say probably my Ostringer. I'm gonna miss that in PvE. As for weapon that I don't care about, I don't think any weapon makes me mad enough to be happy that it's gone.
I could go on for hours.
All right, well, I'll cede my suggestion to you. So we give a second suggestion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll sign off on that.
They're just gonna give you Icebreaker. It's gonna be fine.
It's so wild to bring up the menagerie weapon system, though, because I am obsessed with my Callus Mini Tool.
Yeah,
I use that gun for everything, and it never got an opportunity to shine.
Yep,
because of Recluse. Never even had a chance to enter the meta, and it's going to be Sunset. And you bring up Ostringer, which never had a chance to shine because 140s were never any good. And it's a great gun. Never had it. I'm not even sure people even know that gun exists.
Yeah,
and it's a great weapon.
Yeah,
you're right.
The Ikelos SMG.
Oh,
nobody ever used it.
I did.
Aren't they? Isn't that reintroduced?
Is it reintroduced?
Didn't they give us the shotgun, the sniper, and the SMG with this season?
I got the sniper and I got the shotgun, but I haven't gotten the SMG. Are you telling me the SMG is in the loot pool as an upgraded thing?
I know. I can say for certainty that I've seen the pistol and the shotgun, Dan. That's all I can testify to.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that it's not going to be. Why would they bring all those ones forward and not bring the SMG?
Oh damn, they're mysterious in their ways. I'm sorry, or they're mysterious in their ways. So
no, I thought it was part of the loot pool immediately. Is it being held back? I mean, Light Razor in chat saying it'll be next week.
Next week, okay.
With the contact event, it'll be reintroduced into the loot pool.
Then hell yeah, never mind.
Right on.
All right, you got to pick another one then.
I got to pick another one. Subtle Calamity. My Subtle Calamity that I used that had Dragonfly on it. I really loved that thing. But then, you know, I found other loves like Recluse or the Icalis SMG.
Yeah.
And it fell by the wayside. So, yeah. I mean, that's it. That's the one. The one that I'll forever be fine with seeing gone.
I guess, real quick, Apostate for me.
Okay.
The sniper from Waves of Sorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great rapid fire frame. I fell in love with it. I've got a firmly planted boxed breathing roll that I really like. And Mountaintop, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Rest in peace.
I never had an issue with Mountaintop other than the fact that I just didn't take the time to get it. That's it.
Enough.
I mean, the next time that, what is it? Momentum Control comes around, just jump in there with a grenade launcher and get it done, dude.
Yeah.
Just get it. Just you'll have it.
Get it to have it.
Get it to have it.
All right, Aura.
All you gotta do is fire grenades around the corner, like you.
Just wait, yeah.
Just literally, that's it.
And try not to get bodied by Jade Rabbit. But can we pour one out for a pinnacle weapon? And I know we've said this before, but it makes me sad every time Nim brings it up. A pinnacle weapon that never got its time in the sun. The Oxygen SR3.
Scout rifle, right? With the massive dragonfly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The poor man's hung jury. F.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more bothered by the Manananan not being brought forward.
I forgot about Manananan.
As the more utilitarian scout rifle. Probably. I mean, what else is there? The what was the pinnacle one for like 2 or 3 seasons ago? The 19 round, basically a Might multi-tool, but legendary.
Randy's
throwing knife. Is that being sunset?
That's getting sunset.
Yeah, it is.
Not this season, but in a few, because of what season was that? That was was that Shadowkeep launch?
I think that was Shadowkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been Shadowkeep launch, yeah.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah, then it'll be this season.
Right
Goodbye,
before.
Randy.
Scout rifles really haven't felt like they've had a spot in Destiny 2 at all. Like Might multi-tool had a bit of a time in the sun and originally in year 1, everybody hated it. But other than that, the scout rifles have been nowhere. Especially not in PvE.
Yeah.
It was
certainly not to the level of Vision of Confluence, where that was such an important weapon to have.
Yeah.
When you could put anti-barrier on Randy, that was great. You paired it with Python.
Yeah.
Randy's a good gun. Randy's is a strong weapon.
So,
damn, son. Anyways, let's see here. But Coffee asks, instead of daily bounties, would Iron Banner be more replayable, enjoyable if they simply removed power advantage?
So I think I know what you're getting at when I talk about wanting daily Iron Banner bounties. I see what you're driving at, right? Okay, so the pinnacle, the power enabled PvP is gone. That might incentivize more people to play more matches. I'll play more often. They're more fun. That really only addresses a specific subset of players. What I'm talking about with bounties is that I want you to have more chances at tokens for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting at. I see why you brought that up as a possible solution to that problem. And in a roundabout way, it is for a very select subset of the player base.
I've been calling for power advantage to be removed forever because I felt like power advantage is what was causing hit registration issues, where the game was trying to force calculations on a scale of 12 players across the internet, wherever they're located. This hasn't felt like that.
Right.
This has felt like connection was the issue the entire time.
Yep.
There needs to be a balance, Coffee, but I don't know that it's skill. It's somewhere in between skill and connection.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what it is.
There's got to be a special sauce that they can just do.
Listen, if there's one option out of all of them, I feel like this is the one that rewards the most amount of people the most efficiently. Because if you're getting your ass kicked, the game is over. You get your tokens, you go get your loot. Like it's fine. You're moving on to the next game as quickly as possible.
Your pride's hurt, maybe.
Right, but my pride is fixed when I'm 1060 and I can go do my Grandmaster Nightfalls and my whatever, and I don't have to play Iron Banner at this point. So like this is by far, and as TBL had said, the numbers have shown this is the best version we've gotten. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody likes it.
Yeah,
but people are playing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Gray Fox asks, picture this. You're on Titan. The pyramid ship is rolling in. What would the last thing you do before the planet is... What is the last thing that you would do on the planet before it is vaulted? Also, bonus points if you bring along a PD partner to be vaulted with.
Wait, you're throwing one of us out, Gray Fox?
Yeah,
is that
well, he's throwing two of us
One
out.
of us is getting vaulted too?
Like, you get vaulted, your buddy gets vaulted, the entire planet gets vaulted.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's grim.
This man trying to sabo.
Dude, I'm gonna miss Titan, man. Titan is so beautiful.
Same.
It is.
Underutilized.
I'm gonna miss the arcology.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That's it.
the arcology was, for me, it brings back nostalgia for Venus, just because of the plant life and the structures there. In a way, it kind of taps into that spiritual succession to Venus, which I still miss. You know, the Ishtar Collective and all that. So I think there was a ton of potential there that we just unfortunately never got to see realized.
Yeah. Arcology is definitely a cool area.
If I'm going to answer that question, I'm going to go to the security room and figure out what the hell those cameras have been recording.
Yeah.
I want to know what those eyeballs, who's been behind those eyeballs and what they've been watching. That's what I want to do before Titan goes away.
The Ace of Spades quest too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that transponder still in our inventory for?
Oh.
Why is that still there?
Well, no, I mean, just the final step of it, right? When you go and hear tapes that's on Titan. So what do we do about Ace of Spades going forward?
It'll probably go.
Oh, yeah.
It'll probably go to what's his name?
Rahul.
To Rahul. It'll probably be.
Oh, that sucks.
It's a shame.
That's a shame, yeah.
So here's what I'd do on Titan for my last hurrah. A fucking raid in the arcology, man. And you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not just bringing one of you MFs with me. I'm bringing all you MFs with me. TBL, I'm bringing you. I'm bringing you, Critbuff. I'm bringing you, Aura. Now I got to pick two other people. I'm not going to on podcast because I don't want to play favorites. But
I'm saying them so I can antagonize them for the rest of
there we go. Let's say Nem.
You would pick Nem.
Let's say Nem.
Because there's Hive and you would be happy.
I think I'd also have to, I think I'd have to pick Moonvold too just to keep my job, right?
Do the boss, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's it. I had to fill out the fire team, guys. The rest of the team, nothing against you. I love you, but
only 6.
You heard it here. Dan Finnan does not love you.
That's
I do.
He picked his favorites here today.
I picked who I'd get vaulted with, and it was all of you.
PD partner. I get to pick one person. I'm taking TBL at me.
Okay.
Let's go, buddy.
I got you, dog.
Like I said earlier, Nem, just so I could torture him for eternity. I'll load up an iPod full of K-pop. Just have it.
Oh, he'd love that. There's nothing Nem loves listening to more than K-pop.
Yeah.
Can't
maybe
I feel like I can hear him vomiting from here. And he lives in California. Or Seattle, or so he's on the West Coast for sure, and I'm in Philly. So
he's in LA, man.
That was loud.
And then I will jam out to some bubble pop.
That's right.
Oh man.
Rest Titan. Titan and Fails, the best NPC in the game, Failsafe going away too.
They're gone, yeah.
Nessus is huge too.
It's which they're getting rid of a lot of space. They're gonna need to replace it with a lot of stuff.
Europa is going to be huge. Europa has to be huge in order, like.
Right.
We're gonna have nothing to do.
We're gonna have so much.
We're gonna be grown
activities.
We're gonna be adults in like the Fisher Price sandbox, the 3x3 Fisher Price sandbox that toddlers play with. Like that's gonna be 6 of us trying to fit in that thing.
What if somebody like downloads Failsafe onto a hard drive and
super good advice?
I want her to be my iPhone instead of whoever.
Siri.
Don't you disgrace Failsafe by sticking her in that god awful She is far too good for something like that.
Here's the thing. You make it good. You bless it with her presence.
There you go.
Yeah.
They could not make... If that gun didn't have to be aimed, it would be Xenophage. It would be Xenophage. The stupidest gun maybe in Bungie history.
Oh boy.
You mean Skillophage?
Skill.
I can't
so
put into
skilled.
words how much I hate that weapon.
It's so much skill to point and click on me on Gambit when you have wall hacks, man. Let me tell
Bro,
you.
it's so easy.
That can't get sunset soon enough. It never will because it's an exotic, but my
It won't.
goodness. What a boring DPS weapon.
You don't like the thunk, 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 thunk.
So like after this, you want to get some coffee? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would love it.
yeah, just like casually having a conversation.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Final question of the night. If there was a rework to certain exotic armor perks, what piece would you want buffed?
Ooh.
I know.
I don't think anything is going to take Stompies or Devil Shadow. Dune Marchers or Transversives off my characters for PvP. I don't think you could do anything to any other exotic that would make me take those off. I really don't. I'm so addicted to movement exotics at this point that I'm screwed. It would take a significant nerf to them for me to consider something else.
On this subject, so joke answer, Wormhusk Crown, every time you used it, it deleted the game from your computer and called you a cheater.
Last week.
Yeah. Okay.
So serious
No,
answer,
that would happen, Dan.
the serious
Sorry.
answer is Mask of the Quiet One, which was on sale from Xur this recovery roll 62. It's got a great intellect recovery roll, and I really don't feel that Mask of the Quiet One has had a chance to shine yet. You know, the energy regen upon being wounded is great. The problem is you only regain your health upon kills, right? It was like a proto one-eyed mask. So regenerating just your health, just putting you back to full red, I don't know if it needs to tiptoe into one-eyed mask territory, but maybe take away the health regen thing and put something else in. Maybe just more energy regen, so that skillful players who can get out with their lives are better. I don't know.
I feel that. I would say there's really two that I could think of something for. First would be the Aeon cult nonsense. Those I think those exotics could utilize a complete rework. Even if Bungie wants to keep the notion of having to your entire team equip them in order to see any kind of benefit, change it from being specific energy for specific classes of characters to the more people in your party who have Aeon stuff equipped, the bigger your stat bonuses get. So like maybe they give you a blanket buff to strength, intellect, and discipline, and the more people in your party who have it equipped, the bigger that buff gets.
That's not
I'm
bad.
a huge fan of burning the world down, but
that's what I'm here for.
Well, you're talking about a Rat
That's
King,
why I'm here.
essentially. You're talking about the
Kind of a
Rat
Rat
King effect. Yeah.
but all
for
the time.
stats.
That's not bad, TBL. That's the best repurposing of that exotic idea I've heard yet, honestly.
And I hate it. I already think it's OP, and I want to nerf it. It doesn't even exist. It's only been the brainchild of somebody in this conversation. I already despise it.
Oh, could you imagine sixes with everybody wearing Aeon cult nonsense? Just skip grenades all day.
No, what if instead it's just like, you know, max recovery? Now the entire fire team has max recovery, resilience, and
or something like
mobility, or something like that. Yeah, not intellect, grenades, or strength, but those three primary stats. And each one would give the primary stat of the class, right? So like the warlock one gives you all the recovery if you wear, or not all, but like a large portion of recovery.
A big
Titans
boost,
resilience.
Like so that you could kind of use it as almost a roundabout way to get triple 100 stats is the way I was kind of thinking. Because right now you can get 102, and then what is it for the third?
I'm not sure,
but you almost use it as a roundabout way to get that extra stat as close to 100 as possible. The more people who are in your party who are using it, I think that'd be a better way to utilize the Aeon cult nonsense than what's being used right now, because it's not being used
right
right
again,
now.
In just those first three, not the second three where people start having abilities and then super.
Yeah, I could see something like that. That'd be a better way to kind of utilize this. The other one I was thinking of is Skull of Dire Ankara, and the change is rather simple. Revert the nerf, Bungie. Revert the nerf.
The only thing that I can think of right now, Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves for Hunter, and allow it to be the only thing in the game that you can hold two sidearms akimbo.
Oh man, that would be kind of nasty right now, because Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves actually have one pretty good build in the current season because of the surprise attack charged with light mod. Surprised attack is unbelievably powerful. A lot of people aren't using it right now because lol sidearms, but don't sleep on sidearms. They're basically better hand cannons in a lot of situations, and with charge with light and surprised attack, I think it almost doubles the damage you can put out with your sidearms. It makes for, and there's a glitch going on right now where you can make that buff permanent, by the way. Not going to tell you how to do it because, oh Lord. But Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves with the surprise attack buff is pretty good. Yeah. So I could see dual wielding those would be pretty dope. I'd love that.
What if mechs didn't require you to be critically wounded to activate? Just swapping to a sidearm. And the more wounded you were, the buff lasted, or maybe better the buff or something. But like if you're at full health, you swap to a sidearm, maybe you have 50% of the current buff.
Yeah.
It's like Eye of the Storm. The lower you get, the better it gets.
I can see that.
Yeah, but you're already a hunter, so you're pretty paper thin.
Let's see. I'm going over the damage numbers in my head right now, and I think with Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves and the damage buff that gives you, plus the surprise attack times 20 charge magazine, I think you're doing like 4 times the amount of damage as your sidearm would usually do. It's hugely powerful.
Okay.
A lot of people aren't using it. It's
on the Rat King at full.
Rat King was what I used to get my sidearms done. That gun is wild.
It's good, man.
And we literally like tried a couple different things, Last Hope or whatever, and Lonesome and some other crap. And I was like, last time I played against a player who's using Rat King, he shit all over me. So I was like, I'll give that a shot. I jump in and like I just like no chance. Nobody could stand like it's fully automatic.
Yep.
And you get
has almost no recoil even on controller.
Yep.
Makes you invisible and heals you on reloads.
Yeah.
Like
after a kill,
that thing was wild.
I think the balance part of Rat King is finding other people to do the catalyst with you, because
shout out to Shags and Woo who helped me finish. I mean, we went into the Bad Juju mission.
Oh yeah.
Which also is being sunset. And
shit.
Yeah,
I just sat there. I just sat there and for 20 minutes and they just killed stuff with Rat King, and that was it.
Easy
Funny
money.
story. I was doing it with somebody, and they're like, I'm checking the progress as I go and everything like that. I'm like, shit, I'm not getting any progress, man. How about you guys? Oh yeah, I've got 20% this time alone. And I was like, it's because I'm killing everything for you, you asshole.
Oh yeah, I didn't fire a bullet. Not supposed to fire a shot. Weird catalyst for sure.
It is.
It's the whole theme, right? Like to get it, you had to be on a fire team with somebody else on the quest or who had it.
Yeah.
So weird gun.
Odd gun. Very powerful though.
Very powerful, but odd. It's like that friend of yours who would pick Dalcine in Street Fighter. Like, what are you doing, buddy? But then he just wrecks you 6 ways to Sunday.
Stretch.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Was that the last question, Dan?
That was the last question.
All right. I do believe that brings us to the end of the show. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 245 of the Planet Destiny podcast. It's been a pretty good one. Crit, it's been great to have you here, man.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here and enjoying your company, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff, and it's always great to hear from your perspective. By the way, once again, thanks for the Jotun tip.
You're welcome. And a quick shout out, T-Bell, remember when Arcstrider was bugged and I soloed that Gambit Primeval? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
That was good times. We got to hang out more.
Yeah, we got to do that. That was cheese. I liked being able to just sit back and watch, because that was stacking the it was that buff you got from dodging, right?
Combination blow. It was combination blow affecting the super. I was like, TBL, man, watch this.
Watch this. Okay.
I'm like, don't touch the primeval. Don't touch him.
And like that wasn't the only cheese you taught me, because I do believe it was you and Nim who taught me that Geomag Stabilizer's Chaos Reach was at one point in time the meta way of melting primevals.
All three of us.
Yeah, there's stupid things you've taught me to do in that stupid game mode, and I'm very thankful for it. But yeah, man, it's always a pleasure playing with you, and it was great to have you here, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right on, right on. Of course, before we get on out of here, we are going to let everybody know where they can find us all across the internet, starting, of course, with our guest host tonight, Mr. Critbuff. Tell them where you at.
So, primarily on Twitter. Very obscure YouTube channel that I up to when I can, both same name. And when I can and find the time, I contribute to Planet Destiny.
Right on, right on. And we're happy to have you there, brother. And we're happy to have you here tonight. Good stuff, man. Next up, Mr. Aura.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Aura or on Twitter, twitter.com/evil-aura, 3VIL_AURA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you going to be streaming this week?
That's the plan. It's the plan. That's been the plan every week since, I don't know, February. And as we all know, plans just go right out the window when IRL kicks in. So I want to be more consistent in July. I want to be more involved with the community, whether it's my own community on Twitch or the Twitch community in general. Like, I miss it. I miss you guys so much. I love everything about what we do and how special we are. I want to be back. I just got to figure out a way to make it happen, dude. I just got to put my ass in the chair when I get home from work. Dude, I get home from work and I just want to stare at 4 white walls and drool. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I've had such a day at work. I just want to, just everything shuts off. Open mouth, turn off brain, just let it perspire. Like, yeah. Yep.
I know that feel, man. I know that feel. Well, here's hoping you get a chance to do that. I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah.
Danfinity. Hi, buddy.
Hi. Hello. My name is Danfinity. You can find me 3 days a week on Twitch, twitch.tv/Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity, where the I's are L's. This week I reprised and I reissued an episode for Side Quests. It's a 2-hour-long conversation with Jay Sniperton. And it was a pretty good one. I just gotta say, it was a good one. He called me short, which is funny.
You're not short.
I'm not short. Yeah.
You are not. I've seen you in real life. You are not short.
I am not short.
Also, I appreciate your use of Bungie terms there. Reprising.
Yeah.
Reprising.
I'm reissuing. I'm reprising. I'm using. Reissuing, that comes from like music industry when you reissue a record. Yeah. So yeah, reprising.
Good. The official vernacular there. I like it.
He's got the style guide. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna sunset everything.
Must capitalize everything.
It's in vogue.
I don't have that font. Go ahead.
I'll hook you up. But of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. My situation, as you guys know, is a lot like Aura's. I'll stream when I've got the free time to do it. And, that's kind of a different story every day. Some days I'm working early in the morning. Other days I've got a little bit of free time. So if I've got the time, I will be streaming some more Destiny 2 this week. I had a lot of fun going through the Prophecy dungeon in the previous weeks. I'm having a lot of fun with that dungeon and live streaming that. And of course, I've been spending the majority of my time here on Destiny 2 playing Crucible this season. I just had my 5th Valor reset yesterday.
The double Valor makes it go. Or is it triple?
Fast. I think it's triple on weekends, double during the week. If I'm remembering that right. But it's fast. I've had 3 Valor resets this week. It's a little silly.
And on that note, real quick tip: if you haven't gotten Redrix's yet, or you're running into the bug where you can't get it in your loot pool, but you have the quest on another character, you can go ahead and get your Valor resets if you're really desperate to get some more rolls of it. Because if you complete the quest, it does come back into your loot pool. So
yeah, and now's as good a time as any to get those 5 resets done, because it just takes a couple hours in Mayhem or an Iron Banner to get a full reset. It's a good time.
Yep.
But all right, everybody, that is pretty much it for this week's issue of the Planet Destiny podcast, episode 245. Notice I knocked my mic down.
Where's that spider, TBL?
I lost track of him. I took the controller. I might be. I took my Pro controller and I moved it over to an isolated part of my desk where nothing else was, and I kept an eye on it, but I recently turned the controller around and upside down, and it's gone. So I have come to the conclusion that this spider knows how to blink. And I don't know what that means now. I'm probably going to disappear after this episode. So
if TBL is not on next week's episode,
you know what happened.
We know why.
Yeah.
You know. But best know that I'm gonna go down. I don't care if it's got 8 arms. I'm going down swinging. I'll fight you. You hear me? 1v1 me. Now, no revoker though, because that's cheese, and you're trash if you use it. All right, everybody. Or Mountaintop, or Jotun, or any of the other guns that make us.
Anything that kills me is a cheesy gun.
It just rolls out with 4 arms. It's like,
oh no. It rolls out with 4 with 4 of its arms up. It's
actually fallen.
Oh no! And he's got a Rat King in each arm. I'm done. It's over for me. But that's it for episode 245 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Your guide to this week in Destiny. We'll catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.